Okay, so on page 219, the authors provide an excellent point that, quote, efforts to draw borders around making set up making itself as the goal of educational practice rather than treating making as one among many tools that can productively intersect with other rich forms of learning. Narrow definitions of making also demarcate which educational environments are considered makerspaces and can therefore access related sources of funding, as well as who counts as a maker and who does not, end quote. And this is one of the reasons why I've actually been exploring maker culture in the last couple of Unpacking Scholarship episodes, is because such practices and pedagogies can occur within spaces that are not defined as a makerspace. For example, in your CS classroom or your classroom that integrates CS, you can incorporate maker culture practices without having to label it as a makerspace or to call kids makers. However, the authors later mentioned that maker practices need not to be bound to a STEM or STEAM discipline and are multidisciplinary in nature. So in other words, although maker culture practices can occur within computer science education, they can occur within any subject area, as well as across a multitude of subject areas, which for me is one of the more interesting and fun things that I like to explore in educational research and just in facilitating in general. So if you want to see some examples of some music-related practices that kind of blur these disciplinary boundaries and whatnot, chapter 4 of my dissertation talks about that. And in the show notes, I have a direct link to the page. I think it's on PDF page 99, if I remember correctly, where it unpacks the different themes and sub-themes found in the dissertation findings itself.
This excerpt was from CSK8 podcast number 18, which is titled Making Through the Lens of Culture and Power Toward Transformative Visions for Educational Equity. You can listen to the full episode as well as hundreds more at jaredoleary.com or by simply searching for the CSK8 podcast on your favorite podcast app so you can learn more about computer science education.